You must know by now what a mess Disney's brand has become. Lately, the movies that actually do well are spin-offs and remakes, and new movies like Elemental, Elio, and now Hexed get thrown under the radar. But why do people not like Disney's new original movies as much as the ones around a decade ago? How are indie movies getting way more positive reviews and attention, and how does this affect the current state of animation? Today, I'm going to take a look at current Disney and Pixar releases and compare them to their older movies. On top of that, I will take a look at current indie movies and how they compare as well. First and foremost, I want to talk about Disney's new original feature release, Hexed. The movie didn't come out yet, but the trailer talks about a girl who doesn't fit in with her peers at school. And what's the reason for that? The fact that she has red hair and eyeshadow, and I can confirm, as someone who's had bright red hair before, I never got laughed at for such a thing. In fact, it was the opposite. People would compliment me, so right off the bat, it's pretty unrealistic. On top of that, she slams the door open and walks in while saying, "My whole life, I felt like there was something wrong with me." Which, you can be insecure, you can doubt yourself, but not solely because you have red hair, or else, I feel like she doesn't have any room to whatsoever. So she's solving assignments for school in the bathroom, which is pretty relatable. And then she drops her phone, tries to pick it up, but her bracelet gets stuck in there and breaks. As she tries to reach for it, she suddenly moves it forward with her superpowers. And yeah, we find out she has superpowers. I'm not sure what kind of superpower that is, but everything starts flying around, and her teacher comes in just to get hit with some pink goo that came out of those powers. And then she does the thing. She gives us the adorkable smile back. Many people have been tired of this trope of being adorkable and stuff, and it just keeps on being reused over and over again. Let's take the OG Rapunzel, then it was Anna from Frozen, then Moana, then Mirabelle, then eventually May from Turning Red, then Asha from Wish, and now Billy from Hexed. This whole cycle has been going on for over a decade, and at first it was innovative and made some people who had similar personalities feel seen too. But after Encanto, I feel like there was a shift. People were starting to get tired of that trope. It worked with Rapunzel because she's been locked away her entire life and therefore was a bit socially awkward around others. It works with Mirabelle because she's the outcast of her family and she's trying to stay positive and happy for them to notice her. But after that, Asha from Wish, who never had a real story arc or reason behind her behavior, didn't make any sense. She would just make goofy faces for absolutely no reason, while her friends acted more their age. Now in Hexed, it also doesn't make any sense. I don't think an alternative girl would make such faces out of nowhere either. They just tried to reduce her expressions a bit, but then it looked awkward when she wasn't as shocked by the whole entire bathroom collapsing. Now, of course, it's just a Disney movie. What did we expect, right? Right after Billy, the main character, gets expelled, since her teacher was already upset with her from the get-go, and that was his last straw. After getting home, she tries to use her powers again like she did before, and fails, until she somehow opens up a portal and gets transported to a different world called Hex, where apparently witches live. Throughout the rest of the trailer, she seems to be fighting off other creatures and says that, "I thought something was wrong with me, but maybe I meant for something more," which couldn't get more cliche than that. In conclusion, I think we can all agree that this is probably going to be a pretty basic movie, or in other words, a movie we have all seen before. Overall, the premise of finding out you have magical powers and going to a magical world isn't innovative at all. The adorkable trope is starting to get more and more annoying, and I don't feel like her character has substance outside of being a loner, which we've also seen a lot of times. I predict the movie to get between a 6 and a 7.3 in IMDb off of what I've seen. So now that we know what Hexed is about, we can move further into other big-budget animated movies who are about to drop soon. We've got Pixar's Gat-O, which seemed to be funny off of the trailer and has a really nice art style, and DreamWorks' Forgotten Island. That's the story about two best friends who get transported to a magical world that is inspired on Filipino folklore, but get challenged with the possibility of forgetting each other forever. The premise includes a magical world, but ties it with cultural significance and a plot that actually looks like high stakes. They could only return back home if they forget each other and lose their friendship. That is way deeper than realizing you're meant for something more. What exactly are you meant for? What does Disney mean by that? Because if there aren't any high stakes, how are we going to feel thrilled to watch it? In Hoppers, another movie by Pixar, there end up being high stakes. Mabel, the main character, connects her brain to the puppet of a beaver and gets to live in the animal world. The reason why they do this is because humans want to find a way to protect the animal's natural habitat. But after Mabel encourages them to fight back, the animals get encouraged to eliminate humans altogether. Now, Mabel has to keep on acting like an animal while risking her life as a human and other people's lives. This dilemma isn't new, but it's high stakes. Humans versus animals, basically. Off of Hexed's trailer, I haven't gotten that hook yet, that need to see what happens, even scared for our main characters. And that's one of the most important things in storytelling. I assume Forgotten Island might get a better rating than Hexed, maybe about a 7.2 to an 8.2. Now get ready, because it'll be talking about the movie that I'm most excited for this year, and that is Wildwood. Wildwood is based on an already existing book written by Colin Malloy. This story also takes place in a magical world in the woods, which reminds me a lot of Narnia. But to me, it seems more intriguing than just a magical adventure. The trailer starts off with this very unique style of animation, including the stop-motion feature. It starts off with a family that refuses their son to go outside. The son's bigger sister decides to take him outside one day, and that same day, he gets taken by a group of crows. So his bigger sister sets off on an adventure to find her younger brother. In comparison to Hexed, she decides to go into that adventure to get her brother back. And the high stakes here are him getting hurt or their family losing him forever. In Hex, Billy doesn't have a reason to get transported there than to find herself and use her powers. If she doesn't use her powers, then nothing happens. If she leaves the magical world, she doesn't lose anything. She stays the same, and her life stays the same. By the end of the movie, Prue, the sister, goes straight to the point and tells the villain that she's not here to play games. She's here to save her brother. Now, I'm not saying you have to lose a family member, a friend, or an entire species, but you do need some kind of motivator outside of just finding yourself again. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. So on to the bigger question. How does this affect the state of animation? Disney is currently on a decline in admirers, and mostly cashing in on remakes and sequels. And knowing how much influence Disney has, this is exactly how their downfall could happen someday. Indie animation studios like Laika and Cartoon Saloon, which is, by the way, extremely underrated, have a bigger chance of getting in the spotlight because of the Disney hate wave. Since people dislike Disney, people will give indie movies a try. And if they end up being of better quality, people will stream and buy tickets. In the era of AI and boring slop, people crave authenticity, and therefore go after the interesting animation, the unique writing and plot, and the relatable characters with real ambitions and fears. We don't really know what Billy is scared of, but we know that Prue is scared of losing her brother. Joe and Risa are scared of forgetting each other. Mabel is scared of the animals losing their homes, but also about them hurting humans in return, and even her. Other examples of good shows would be V from Arcane, who's scared of losing her real sister for good. Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, who lost his entire family except for his sister Nezuko, and now he wants to protect her and not lose her either. In Spirited Away, Chihiro is scared of not coming back to her parents and not getting out of the place she got in. In Avatar, Neytiri and Jake are scared of losing their family and home. And in Inception, Dom is scared of not being able to see his children again. And all of these reasons are what started the main plot in the story. If you don't strike a nerve in someone and make them have a reason to feel bad for a character, the movie will feel meaningless to watch. And lately, Disney movies don't have good enough reasoning to exist. To show us something important, it's just adorable girls with magical powers who go on an adventure and barely change throughout said adventure. What would make you want to watch a Disney movie again? What are your thoughts on this? Are you excited for Hexed? Comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more philosophy and pop culture. And with that, I'm out.